We have quite a matchup coming up. We have quite a game coming up. And Brock Purdy is basically trying to take on the entire NFL history book, along with the Philadelphia Eagles as well. Brock Purdy, Mark Sanchez, and Joe Flacco are the only three quarterbacks in NFL history to win 2 postseason games in their rookie season. No rookie ever has won 3 postseason games in his rookie season. Purdy's completed 63% of his passes for 546 yards and 3 touchdowns so far in the postseason, with only 27 more passing yards. Let's be honest, he should have that in the first quarter. With only 27 more passing yards this week, Purdy will pass Russell Wilson for the most amount of passing yards in a postseason by a rookie since the merger. His 109.9 passer rating this postseason is the highest by a rookie quarterback in the NFL since the merger. Someone from the 510 Ray on the Xfinity mobile text line says, Purdy's got 7 wins in a row. Meanwhile, Jalen Hurts has won 23 out of the last 24 games he's played. And that's why there's a gap out there. When Purdy was Mr. Irrelevant, Hurts was already an MVP candidate. There's a huge difference. And I'm not here to pick a fight or even argue. But the huge difference, if there was indeed a huge difference, should be measured by Brock Purdy's timeline, not necessarily Jalen Hurts' timeline, because Jalen Hurts has the advantage of his timeline starting before Brock even entered the picture, before Brock was even drafted. Jalen Hurts is an NFL player while Brock Purdy is at Iowa State. So the correct timeline to score one against the other is in just their last 7 games. And if the experience really does matter to Jalen Hurts, then he should be statistically infinitely better as a passer than Brock Purdy in his just last 7 games alone. Because if there's a huge gap, how can somebody be as good as somebody in his first 7 games as someone with all this experience in just their last 7 games? And I went over these numbers yesterday, but I'm going to do it again. Last 7 starts for Jalen Hurts. Last 7 starts for Brock Purdy. Jalen Hurts is 7-0. Brock Purdy is 7-0. Jalen Hurts has 234 passing yards per game. Brock Purdy has 235. Jalen Hurts is a 64.8 completion percentage. Brock Purdy is 66.7. The pass touchdown to interception ratio for Hurts is 10-3. For Purdy, it's 14-2. The passer rating for Hurts is 97. For Brock Purdy, it's 116. The total touchdowns in his last 7 games. For Jalen Hurts, it's 17. For Brock Purdy, it's 16. So to say that they, because of experience, are wildly different, and that is the big gap, how come there is no gap at all in their production?
Because it's not a gap in experience. The gap is in the fact that Jalen Hurts can run and Purdy can't. The difference is 760 yards
between them
versus 13. That's the difference. And if you take a quarterback in his totality, that's where the advantage that Hurts is. It's not because he has a superior brain or that he's played 150 games. Whoever is throwing that straw man out is a drooling idiot. The difference is that Jalen Hurts creates things with his legs that Brock Purdy either hasn't yet or doesn't have the capability to have. If that's the difference you want to point at, I'll go along with it. But if this was simply a throwing exercise, I'd say, okay, Jalen Hurts is the better quarterback, but the 49ers are probably the better team because they're better at running the football. But it's not going to be that. It literally is going to be a game where you have to look at the guys who never touch the ball to find out how this is going to go. Because either the Eagles defense is going to force turnovers or the 49ers defense is going to force turnovers. And that's because they have superior players on that side of the ball. They both do. That's why this game is only 2.5 points instead of, 12 or 15. Because basically the Eagles, for all the people who say they didn't play anybody, they had a tougher schedule than the 49ers did. But that doesn't matter anymore. It's literally about this team versus that team. And the place where the strengths are equal are along both lines. And that's where the battle's going to be fought. You know, Brock Purdy could easily have a fine game and the 49ers lose. Jalen Hurts could have a fine game and the Eagles lose. It really is, the game's going to be won somewhere else.
Trenches.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Here's the thing.
I sound like a 94-year-old Big Ten fan, but when you tell me that one team has the best offensive line in football and the other team has the best defensive line in football, and that the other two comparative lines are in the top 5, that tells me that's where the best players are. So go to where the best players are. They will tell you how this game will go.
888-957-9570. The differences, the similarities, how do you got it shaken out? By the way, little assist here on the Xfinity mobile text line. The character's name was Helen on the Jeffersons. Thank you very much. Roxy Roker was the name.
Okay. That's familiar to me now.
That's Lenny Kravitz's mom right there. I like that. Look, this game got to be, I hate to agree with you, Ray, but who turns it over? Who turns it over is probably losing this game. If neither team turns it over, we got something really fascinating happening this weekend.
Yeah, I can't begin to guess because I believe they are like either 1 and 3 in terms of turnovers allowed. In which case, they're both really good at ball security. So this game basically is going to tip on a weird break. We may not be able to prove who the better team is when this game is over. We'll only prove which team gets to play one more game.
We go to a woman who's already probably seen this game play out in the constellations. Andrea, the astrologer over in Berkeley. Hello, Andrea.
Hello, how are you?
Very well, thank you. How does it shake out? How is whose house is rising in what plan of Mercury?
Yes, I'm glad you asked. Brock Purdy, he's got quite a chart. December 27, 1999. He's a young and a Capricorn. And I'll tell you, one of the worst things you can say to a Capricorn is to call them Mr. Irrelevant because they're so ambitious. And he's very organized and conscientious. I mean, if you see him in the press conference, he's very realistic and methodical. And he doesn't seem to get flustered or phased. So he has that Capricorn ambition and that achieving quality and wanting to be recognized. So, I mean, like you said, you just had his stats. I mean, 5 in a row, and he could be the first rookie, to win. So I just really like, his energy, and the Virgo moon, I think, keeps him very detailed. He talks about that, going over the game plan with Kyle. He just seems very efficient and very humble about things and, meticulous about details. So I really like, what's going on in his chart. And he was a few months old when Tom Brady started his NFL career. How about that?
How's his Virgo moon doing these days? Andrea, thank you. Good to hear from you. Appreciate you calling in. Ray, Virgo moon. You weren't even thinking about Brock Purdy's Virgo moon. Be honest. You didn't see that one coming. The Capricorn? Capricorn.
When you said it was Andrea, I knew there would be references to moons.
The Virgo moon, though?
No, I didn't know. I assume that everybody's got every...
Harvest moon, maybe.
Yeah.
Blue
Sailor
moon, maybe. Sailor moon,
yeah,
maybe.
I know. I mean, it's, I kind of knew what her area of expertise was. So I figured, that's where we're going with this.
Jackie Moon.
Moon pies. Wally Moon. Baseball player.
No, I know.
Well, I'm just saying.
But nobody thought of Virgo moon.
No.
Spanish moon.
Yeah.
Benny Little
King.
Feet. Oh, is Benny King got a Spanish moon too?
No, he was the guy who sang the song from which the title of the movie came.
Ah, see, we're learning things today here on 95.7 The Game. You know what, Lucas? There's one element of today's show we did not discuss in any of our pre-show meetings. You have until the final segment of today's show to flush this bad boy out. Because we are going to have a night at the Props We got prop bets all around. We got prop bets for Eagles and 49ers. We got universal prop bets for the entire weekend as well. But we do need to fade the public. We need to fade the public this weekend, and we only have 2 games to choose from, so it shouldn't take a lot of research for you to come up with the correct answer and which public gets faded.
For the first time all year, we're going to include totals in this, so we have 4 bets to choose from.
Ooh. Warren Moon, thank you. Thank you very much. What is Ray's zodiac sign? Ray refuses to disclose his, we won't know how old Ray was at the time of his death unless we cut him in half and count the rings.
And since I'm not planning to die, you'll never know. And if I do die, I'm just going to be buried in the woods with a hat on. So
Nice.
No one will get to any of my limbs.
Nah, you can't do that because remember, you and I have a pact. Whoever goes first, the other guy does the eulogy.
I'm just going to type it and send it to somebody to read.
Thank you.
I'm not getting in my car for anybody's eulogy.
Not for me.
Not for anybody. I wouldn't get in the car for my eulogy.
You're going to need an Uber for that one.
No, I'd have to go Lyft.
There you keep it in the family. Look, D'Amico Ryans. He says in order to get through this game, he needs all 11 guys lifting when it comes to limiting Jalen Hurts' legs. Here is D'Amico Ryans from yesterday.
And when it comes to him scrambling around, right, that's all 11. It starts with our D-line being where they're supposed to be and guys who are responsible to go get the quarterback. We just have to do our job. No, we can't make a bigger deal out of it than it is. Everybody has to do their job, be where they're supposed to be, and we play defense as all 11 groups swarming. That's what's going to help us, defend the quarterback running.
And the truth is, if they can sort of start to take away that RPO, Philadelphia starts looking much different. If they have to just get their running game going through, let's call it standard running plays, that's a win for the 49ers instantly. If this game reaches that point in the game, things are going well.
Because it means the Eagles' running game is now inside the tackles for the most part. Miles Sanders is good, but one of the things that makes him very good is the fact that Hurts can get outside the pocket, with designed runs that mean you stretch the 49er defense. If they can corral Jalen Hurts, it will be harder for the Eagles to run, it would seem to me. So, yeah, but how many people have corralled Jalen Hurts this year?
Not many.
Yeah, so that's, again, it's what the big uglies do to steal the line from John Madden 100 years ago.
I think it's what, clearly staying assignment ready and not getting pushed out of your lane and giving up the edge. That is huge. It's huge.
And even if you don't, Jalen Hurts is quick enough to find the little seam anyway. That's why this is it's fascinating because it's ultimately going to be little things that decide this. This isn't going to be a blowout. I can't envision that.